There is what I can only describe as unintentional blackface in this music video. You look at it and you're like, oh, no. Welcome to the Worst Emo Songs Bracket, Volume 1. These were submitted by you, the audience, people who are part of the Emo Social Club, went onto our profiles and let us know what they thought was the worst songs ever made. And we are going to pit them against each other, and we're going to pick one winner, the best or worst of all of them. There's a playlist of all of these songs down in the description. You can listen to them all on your own. If you choose to, that's on you. I'm not going to judge you for it. We are streaming this over on volume.com. We stream there every Thursday night. If you would like to participate in the conversation, follow us at volume.com/emo social club and find us every Thursday night over there. And if you would like to vote on the next worst emo songs bracket, all of that's in our description there as well. So you can find the Google form and list what you think might be the worst song ever made. Shall we begin? Shall we go? Our first matchup is Alone by Falling in Reverse versus Thanks for the Memories by Fall Out Boy. A heavy contender right off the bat. When Falling in Reverse first came out, they were doing a lot of post-hardcore, metalcore type stuff. A lot of what Ronnie was doing with the original Falling in Reverse was Escape the Fate adjacent. Then he was building up for the second record, and he decided, you know what I really have always loved is hip hop and rap. And I think that I can do that with metal and you know, heavy music. So I think I'm just gonna like start rapping now in this. And he came out the gate saying like, I can do this. I'm very good at it. I've been listening to this for a long time. I am very passionate about this music. And so I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna make it. This song is the first one that we heard of him doing it. And it is like all of the worst tropes of hip hop and rap music as a white boy, like rapping it in front of a car in like acting really tough and like cool outfit and like tattoos and like a Skrillex haircut. He just raps like the most boring. He says lines like, I've been rapping since when you were shitting in Pampers or something. It's a very bad line. It's awful. This song is a very weird dichotomy too of him being so like, you know, the normal hip hop braggadocio in these rap verses, and then he goes into the chorus and he's like, I've only known how to write music and I don't want to be alone. And like, I'm just so alone. It's so hard because like, I'm very lonely. Well, you just spent like a couple minutes saying how you're the best at everything you do and everybody else sucks and people are talking shit about you, but you're awesome. And you're like, oh, I'm so alone. It's like, I really do feel like the first thing kind of led to the second thing. That's on you, man. You're alone because of you, not because of them. So this song, between like the fact that the rapping is so bad and the fact that like the lyrics don't make any sense, the fact that Ronnie and his voice just sounds very like, Ronnie's kind of a one-note singer in a lot of like the Falling in Reverse stuff. Like he can do other stuff, but he just seems to want to like make his voice as loud as possible, or he wants to show off how hard he is like a good rapper. And he doesn't really do much in this either. So yeah, rough start. Good and yet rough start. Okay, let's take a little listen to Thanks for the Memories. I don't know why someone put this into this, like, these are one of the worst songs, one of the worst emo songs ever written. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what this song did to hurt that person. I mean, I guess you could say, like, if lyrically you're listening to it and you hear He Tastes Like You Only Sweeter, you know, you're like, oh, that's a little weird. It's not that bad, right? It's not shitting in Pampers bad. It is just a quote from a movie. It's just Pete being Pete, you know? But I don't have any issues with this song. It's got a lot of theater to it. It's got a lot of build. It's got a lot of great lyrics. It's got a lot of good vocal performance. It's got a lot going on with it. I have no issue with the song. I don't know how it hurts somebody. So obviously Falling in Reverse will be moving on here. The next round is The Thespian by Alisana versus Everything We Need by A Day to Remember. Both of these belong here. we've been sitting on these results for a while. I'm gonna be honest. Like this whole polling situation where the audience like submitted songs. This was way before we did the Alesana review. I said, wow, this might be one of the worst things I've ever heard. And so I'm now very familiar with this song, now very familiar with both the way that Alesana writes music and the way that they have so much going on and the way that everything sounds to me, that I absolutely believe that it belongs on this list. I don't think Alesana's music is terribly good. I don't think that it is like catchy. I don't think it has any like melodic center. There's just a lot of noise happening and it feels like you're supposed to be doing something, but I don't know what the something is that they want me to be doing to it. Sing along, move, mosh, whatever. If you watch the music video for this song, which obviously I'm not showing the music videos on this, I'm just playing the music in the background, right? But you should go and watch the music video for this, because there is what I can only describe as unintentional blackface in this music video. We're not judging the music video for these songs. We're just judging them based on the music itself. The song is not good, right? It's very hard for me not to address the fact that there is you look at it and you're like, oh, no, don't do that. And like no one was on set that day to say, ooh, I'm not, I don't know. No one on set that day. It's like, well, you know, we're telling this story and it's like about like demons and murderers and stuff. And it's like, it looks like was the murderer racist? Like, very strange. Let me play the other one. This is off of A Day to Remember's, I want to say, last record. They had this album where they were going a little bit more country, I want to say. Maybe a little bit, you know, into more root rock, into something that appeals to a different audience. They are a Florida band. They might be doing just Florida stuff. Who knows? This felt like a very weird song for a band like A Day to Remember, known for heavier music, known for their pop punk with breakdown style, to do something that just sounds like a very basic country song. But it just sounds so bland and so vague, right? It could be any band. This is one of those things where you're like, somebody wrote this song and they sold it to A Day to Remember and they did it. And then you're like, what? But who is A Day to Remember to be doing a song like this? This record did not do well for them. I don't think a lot of their fans liked it. They have obviously released more singles post this record, and now they have announced a new album where they are going to be doing back to heavier stuff and back to like the same pop punk with breakdowns thing. So this may have been just, you know, a single test, a simple single test that they were trying out and seeing how it went. It's not good, but it's by no means like bad. It's just bland. It's not the band we thought it was. It's a band that is doing something very different, and it doesn't work for me, but I don't think that the song sounds awful. Versus The Thespian by Alesana, which I'm like, this is hard to listen to. This has like so much going on. It is audio chaos. It is like bad songwriting. The vocals are just like loud and high pitched. And there's three of them for some reason. There's screaming. There's a lot of guitars, and like it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't feel like there's like a chorus or a center to it. You asked me to sing an Alesana chorus. I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know where it is. So I think of these two, it's got to be Alesana that moves on. A Day to Remember song is just boring, but it's not like, you know, I want to shut the shit off. The Thespian shall move. Next up, we got Walk on Water by 30 Seconds to Mars versus Aware by Front Porch Step. I learned a lot of songs for this, you know, awful song bracket. Walk on Water was not one of the ones I had to learn. So I'm not going to lie to you. I've been very upfront at most times that I am a fan of 30 Seconds to Mars of every era, in a way where I'm like, you know, I don't care, whatever. You don't like it, I understand. That's okay. You don't have to like this other stuff. 30 Seconds to Mars is a band that was emo, that did the emo stuff. They are going to do it again. This year is their 20th anniversary of A Beautiful Lie. They're going to be doing more stuff like that again. And maybe fans will come back, maybe they won't. And that's on them. But they were doing this stuff that was very, very popular. This album was still incredibly popular, but it is like radio rock. I hesitate to say this, but it is very like Imagine Dragons style. It appeals to a wide audience and it doesn't really have a lot going for it. It has lyrics that are like saying something, but they're not saying enough about anything. They're not really about anything specific. They're just like using words that are like, yeah, we all know what that means, right? It's like, what does it mean, Jared? Jared, what are you saying? Do you think that you can walk on water? 30 Seconds to Mars is a gigantic band, by the way. They are enormous. And people like forget how big that band is. It's probably because he was the Joker. I'm assuming it's because he was the Joker. All right, Aware. This is one of those songs where it's hard to tell if the guy knows how aggressively incel he sounds when he writes some of the lyrics. When the chorus hits and it hits you with like, damn you stupid girl, like you should be with me. I mean, I don't know when the song exactly came out, but it is one of those things that I'm like, bro, like chill. She don't want to be with you. It's okay. It like appeals to a very specific type of guy who is like, I really like this one girl and she's not interested in me, but I really want her to be with me and like figure it out. But she's like hanging out with like all the jocks and like hanging out with all the cool guys. But like she sees me as a friend, but like I would be there for her and I would take care of her and I'd be better for her and I would love her more than any of these other guys do. And it's like, bro, no. You're just some guy. If she's not interested in you, that's okay. Like you'll find somebody who is, but you can't like just argue her feelings for her. You should be with me. I'm so I ride guitar. It's unfortunately like one of those things where you learn that behavior and then you go, oh, that's not right. I should not be doing that. That's not how I'm supposed to behave. And you stop doing it. This is music from an adult who like didn't learn not to do that anymore. And it's very upsetting to listen to as a song and be like, oh, a lot of people like this artist and they're singing along to it. You're like, ooh, boy, damn you stupid girl. The music video is very like he has an American flag behind him. I'm like, this is the most like Iowa artist I've ever heard. Although he is on a boat for most of it. And I'm like, where'd you find a lake in Iowa? Next up, somebody from Iowa was like, we have a lot of lakes and I like to sing to my girl on them. Front Porch Step moves on here because while this 30 Seconds to Mars song is not their best, all right, I'm gonna be honest. I like it. I know it's not their best. That's okay. But Aware is like an objectively like rough song to listen to. And if you identify with any of the lyrics and identify with anything going on in it, like please seek somebody to help you through that. All right, next matchup is Cruising California, parentheses, Bumping in My Trunk by The Offspring versus Every Thug Needs a Lady by Alkaline Trio. I don't know why somebody picked any Alkaline Trio song. That was a rude choice that they made. If you have not heard this Bumping in My Trunk song, you are in for an awful treat right now. This is my argument about why California should secede from America. I watched the music video for this. I heard this song and like jaw on the floor, shocked. I had never heard this song before. Wow. This is like, they're trying to do Pretty Fly for a White Guy again or something, but like just do like a dumb, like radio friendly pop song. And it's like, dude, you're the Offspring. You don't have to do it. And like you did it so bad that it doesn't even have like the joy or the fun that you would normally have with a song like that. You just made a bad song. It's hard to listen to. There's like no joy in the vocal performance. There's nothing interesting about the music behind it. And then you remember that these dudes are like mid 40s, like when they're doing this song. And they're probably like, I mean, I'm assuming this was probably like 10 years ago. Something like that. So they might be older than that, but it's like, you're adults, bro. Like, what is this? You're a rock band. You're a punk band. What are you doing? This song is shockingly bad. Shockingly bad. I'm almost impressed with how bad it is from just top to bottom. Bad. That was 2012. What an awful year. Not a bad song. I don't know, again, how Alkaline Trio has hurt a person. It's like, did someone listen to this in your life and you were upset at them for doing such a thing? I mean, this record is not like the most well produced, is not highest of qualities, but also it's not supposed to be. It's like a punk band, you know? Their music is supposed to be like kind of raw and rough. It's poppy, but it's definitely like, you know, supposed to be rough. I believe the story is that like Matt Skiba was like drunk most of the recording of this and his voice sounds really rough. This is a Dan song. Dan Andriano has never done anything wrong. So I don't know. I have no idea. I'm like, did you just not like the title that Every Thug Needs a Lady? Like, it's just a title, you know? It's not the song. Cruising California, Bumping in My Trunk obviously moves on here because, like, come on, man. Like, how did The Offspring fall so low? So low on this one. Next matchup, we got Country Girl by Belmont versus Back It Up by Bone Crew. Sure, there's a lot of thoughts on these two songs because of the amazing people that are in them. This song is like mostly just the chorus. It's just that repeated a lot throughout this. And I found this song to be like just kind of a joke. It's not supposed to be majorly serious. It just has this idea, this concept to it, and it just repeats it over and over again. It has a little bit of like a country feeling to it, but it's like, I don't know how I'd even describe Belmont. They're a weird band to me, sound wise, like what they make is weird, but I just find myself very like, okay, it's a joke, like move on, whatever, who cares? I don't think there's anything necessarily like that bad about it. The lyrics are stupid. The sound is weird. It doesn't feel like a very like interesting song. It just feels like it's this repeated over and over and over again. Not like the worst thing I've ever heard, but certainly not something that I'm ever revisiting ever again. So if you can't tell from the vocals, that is Franz from Attila, who is screaming over what I can only describe as like rap, metalcore, heavy, like grindy core. It's like hip hop, but it's for who? I don't know who this music is for. I understand conceptually why someone would want to make it. Like you want to make heavy stuff that is in hip hop and you want to like combine these worlds because there are a lot of fans that overlap in all of it. But like you are making a song that like it appeals to nobody. It appeals to absolutely nobody. I've never liked Franz's screaming. It's like he tries to do this like really fast screaming like he's rapping, but it ends up just sounding like garbage. It's just like one long noise that just doesn't sound at all entertaining or good. And the rapper on this just is sort of like drowned out. It's like he doesn't have to be here. He could be anybody. I don't know who it is. I don't know if he has like a career that like Franz was like, hey, come do this and like we'll do this as a thing. I don't think this went anywhere. I don't think anybody cared about it. So I think that it's like, yeah, great. And okay, we're done. So of the two, like Country Girl is just more boring to me. Like I don't think it's good, but I'd have to go Bone Crew is like objectively a worse song of the two of these, I guess. Because I think Country Girl just like it repeats that chorus over and over again. But this is like rough to listen to and like you're skipping it. You're skipping it immediately. All right, next matchup. Got Your Money by Say Anything versus Emo Girl by MGK.
Cause you say you got my baby and I know it ain't true. Is it a good
Obviously, this is a cover song. This is off of the Punk Goes Crunk cover album. It's Say Anything. Max Bemis, who is the type of artist who like doesn't necessarily take everything so seriously. I can appreciate that he takes the source material. And this is at an very early time in a lot of these artists' like careers blowing up. And you're like, okay, I get it. Like you're just goofing off. This is for white kids. This is for suburban whites. But also like as a suburban white himself and making like this. There's enough times where like he has to censor himself by like doing like a weird like N-word insert. And I think at the time it was like, yeah, we don't know what to do, but we're still going to do it. And now we'd say, hey, we don't know what to do. It's like, we don't have to do this. This doesn't have to happen. So just maybe we just don't do it. And this exists. It is in existence. It is out there. Being that it's not an original Say Anything song, I don't want to judge it too hard. It is just a cover. It's supposed to be goofy. It's supposed to be cringe. It's supposed to be a little egregious, but it is also bad, and it's not fun to listen to anymore at all. This song, I mean, obviously was going to be submitted for this type of thing, this type of video. The problem is that I know why people don't like it. This is very formulaic, right? It's just stupid. It does all the same production tricks. It's got Travis Barker on the drums. It's got Willow Smith. It doesn't take itself seriously in the same way as the other one, but I like it. Like it sounds good to me. It's short and it's dumb, and the chorus is still catchy. The verses, like if I'm not really paying attention to the lyrics a lot, the verses are fine. Doesn't bother me that much. It is also a very short song, so it doesn't like overstay the welcome of being really stupid. The Got Your Money song is like 4 minutes, so you're like, oh, okay, I have to do the whole thing. This is like 2.5 minutes. It's like, whatever. It's dumb, but it goes away. This is probably an individual thing that I feel, but I do think that Emo Girl is not that bad of a song. And so I think Got Your Money has got to move on to the next one. All right, next matchup. The Curse of Curves by Cute Is What We Aim For versus I Would Hate Me Too by TX2. An artist we definitely knew was going to be on this list. Of emo artists, of emo bands, I know the Cute Is What We Aim For is not, I mean, they're not like a super well-known artist, but also like they are just that style of like pop in the emo scene that was trying to take what like bands like Fall Out Boy, Academy is, Panic at the Disco, maybe even like trying to do those things and just be like a pop band for kids. So it isn't like highbrow, high-level music, but I don't think it's bad, especially this song. I don't think it's bad. Like I have, you know, I might have hated it like years and a couple decades ago, but like now it's just fun. Like this song is just fun. You sing along to it. With a lot of ones that I'm like, how did this song hurt you? I understand why someone could say this song is not good. However, that person is incorrect. So no. That's the lyric, right? That's the reason why everybody hates this song. And that was the only part of it that like I knew before going into this and listening to the whole song and having to compare it to like a lot of other music on this list. I was like, that lyric, a lot of the verses on this, really dumb lyrics, really stupid, really like cringe, attention getting lyrics. I don't think the song is that bad. I don't think that it's like as bad as a lot of the songs on this list or as bad as people are saying TX2 is. He's cringe as there's no denying it. These lyrics are cringe as I think his voice is a little bit like right up at the edge of like screaming. It's not always pleasurable to listen to. I'm putting it out there. I don't think TX2's music is as bad as how much people want to talk shit and hate on TX2. I don't think the song is like all that bad altogether. Of the two of these choices, yes, it is the worst song of the two of them. Curse of Curves is not that bad of a song. It is at least enjoyable to listen to. There is ups and downs. There's backs. You know, there's a lot going on with it that's interesting to listen to. I Would Hate Me Too is like one riff and cringy lyrics and TX2 kind of singing at the edge of his voice. There's no question that it moves on. The last pair, the last battle, the last duel on the left-hand side of the first 16 songs, we have Young and Menace by Fall Out Boy versus Only Exception by Paramore. Before you say it, I don't know. I am going to be controversial here. I think I'm going to end up hurting someone's feelings. I hope that person is Pete Wentz. What the is this song? Every time I hear this song, I'm like, what the is this song? It is so goddamn annoying. The entire chorus is a like dubstep breakdown for a Fall Out Boy song. And it sounds like the worst EDM that anyone's ever made, just with this one high-pitched little noise going in and out, back and forth, just winding its way into your brain and trying to kill you. Now, I'm not going to do a poll on this. I'm not going to figure it out. This might be the worst Fall Out Boy song. This might be the worst Fall Out Boy song of all of their songs. A band that is not bad. A band that does not need to make bad music. This is a bad song. Yeah, somebody got hurt to this song. Like somebody felt so upset. Whoever did them dirty to this song, they got hurt by it, and they wanted to take it out on this song in particular by putting it in this list. This song is amazing. It's on the best Paramore album by one of the best bands of all time. Hayley Williams, her vocals are spectacular. It's a soft song. It's a quiet song. This song is a love song. This song is a sad song. This song is meaningful. You can be hurt by it. That's fine. You can be hurt. We are not having a conversation where it's a bad song at all, ever. Young and Menace, bad song. I'm unrepentant for saying it. I don't care. We are now on the right-hand side. There's some stinkers on this side. There's some goddamn stinkers. First battle on the right-hand side, we've got My Dick by 303 versus Father of All by Green Day. I've listened to this song a couple of times for this battle. This song is stupid, but it's not bad. Like, it's just stupid. The sound is like fine. I have no problem with like the production. I have no problem with the way that the song itself musically sounds, but I absolutely am like, yeah, okay, the lyrics are dumb. It's entirely the song My Dick by Mickey Avalon. It's the exact same song. There is no reason to have done this song because it is already a song that was done. It is no reason to be done by 303 of all people. It's just a dumb song. It's stupid, but the sound of it is fine. I have no issue with it being like a goofy song. Whatever. I can't be mad at a song that's like knowing that it's stupid. First of all, why are you copying Mickey Avalon? Why are you doing that to Mickey Avalon? I remember when this album came out, this Green Day album came out, everyone was saying that it was like a really bad record and that this song was really bad. And I didn't really listen to it. Hearing this song, I'm like, it's just boring. You're trying to do like early 2000s, like indie radio rock, but you're Green Day. You've made pop punk bangers. You've made rock operas. Why are you doing this? This is just boring. I'm not enthusiastic about it. If they played it live, I'd be like, you can skip that one. I would skip that. I would skip this if it came up. I'd be like, who is this? Why is this happening? And you were like, oh, it's Green Day. I'd be like, no, it isn't. That's not that. The American idiots are them if this is Green Day. If I compare the two, here's what I'll say. I like the way that My Dick sounds. Don't love that. I've recorded that on the internet. 303 made a better song audio-wise, although it is really stupid. Green Day's, I don't know what their song is about. I'm just going to go ahead and put Father of All to move on. Maybe that's an upset. I really doubt it. I think that it's not great, but I certainly enjoy the experience of listening to 303 more than I enjoy listening to Green Day. Next up, we have Fired Up by the Plain White T's versus I Don't Want to Go to Bed by Simple Plan featuring Nelly. This was a new song for me to listen to. But let's listen to Plain White T's first. It hurts me that friend of the show, friend of friends, Tom Higginson, the Plain White T's, gentlemen, scholars, that they're on this list and that they kind of belong on the list, unfortunately. This song is not very good. It sounds like it was written for a car commercial, not to be like a song you would hear a band play live. I think it's just boring. I think it's like supposed to be this like dancey little ditty, but I don't love it. And it hurts me to say that because of my love for the people in the Plain White T's. Simple Plan from Canada wrote that song, made that song, played that song, recorded it, called up Nelly. and said, hey, Sir Nelly, you should come and like lay down a verse on this song by Canadian pop punk band Simple Plan, which is supposed to be like, I'm assuming Maroon 5. It just, what the is this song? Like, why did you make this song? You're Simple Plan. I think a lot of songs on this list tend to be a band doing a song that is completely out of their genre, whether they're trying to have a song that is more popular, that appeals to more audiences, but is just like completely losing what made them originally like a fan favorite. You're Simple Plan, man. Like you're a pop punk band from Canada. And Nelly just constantly is repeating the phrase, it's a simple plan, as though he just learned their band name and he said, oh, I'll just mention like that your band name is Simple Plan, and that's it. That's the one thing that I got from this band. Nelly made money off of this, put in very little effort, and made money off of it. Good for him. Good for Nelly. Good for Simple Plan. This song sucks. Unfortunately, in this pairing, well, I guess fortunately, because I really do want always to show my support and love for the Plain White T's, I get to put I Don't Want to Go to Bed forward because the song is not good. It's not good. It's not good. Next up, Rebel Love Song by Black Veil Brides versus I'd Rather Die by Tramp Stamps. Can I be very honest with you guys? Can I be very frank with you guys? This is not a bad song. I actually really kind of liked this song. I have never really listened to Black Veil Brides. I've never really been a fan of Black Veil Brides, but I listened to this song and then I was like, wait, I kind of dig this. I kind of like Andy's voice. I kind of like the structure of it. I like it a lot, actually. And I would be surprised if I ever like really went into the discography of Black Veil Brides and like learned some stuff. I know they're playing Warped Tour now. They're signed up on the Warped Tour this year. I've seen them at the Warped Tour way back in the day. I'd be curious, you know, but I was very surprised that I did not absolutely hate this song and would actually go as far as to say I enjoyed it and I like it. It was surprisingly not as bad as I thought it would be. Okay, we know what's going on here. We know the Tramp Stamps because they had a big thing on TikTok of being an industry plant and making music that just feels very like out of character for who they were before this band, kind of sounding like they're just like attacking, you know, cultural things that are happening currently and saying we're that too and you should like us because we're pop punk and we're like just like MGK and like look, our hair is different colors. This song is not good. This song is like trying to both be pop punk and kind of like hyper pop, but the vocals are like way too auto-tuned. The choruses are fine with that auto-tune. It's just, it doesn't sound great. It's not catchy. The vocals like sound really annoying. The verses are obviously like the worst part of it. Like the way that they talk about all of it and just like how annoyed and sarcastic they are about like the experience of dating people or like knowing men at all is like, yeah, okay. Like personally, listening to it, I'm like, this sounds like something you keep doing. Like, oh, I'm just so annoyed that like all these dudes are like this. You keep hanging out with dudes like that though. Like you're the one doing it. No one's telling you to like go and like hang out with like a bunch of dudes that suck. Hang out with dudes you enjoy being around. What the are you doing? The song is annoying. The song is bad. The song is supposedly like industry plant type nonsense. Obviously, this Tramp Stamp song is moving on. I was surprised at how much I liked Rebel Love Song. I am also unsurprised at how much I disliked I'd Rather Die by Tramp Stamps. Next up, we have I Feel Like Dancin' by All Time Low versus Disenchanted by My Chemical Romance. I will go on record. You all hated All Time Low from the allegations. I hated All Time Low because their music is bad. In the same way that like Simple Plan was doing their Maroon 5 radio song, major label debut. If you watch the music video, they're all like making fun of the fact they're like signed to a major label. This song is incredibly millennial coded. Like him saying like everybody getting crunk, everybody get kind of awesome. Like, wow, like LOL's Rafflecopter. I like, why is this song post-millennial and millennial? An annoying song lyrically. It's trying to be like a Maroon 5 style rock radio, but not rock, but also guitars. Like it's supposed to be like a big hit. But also, why would anybody enjoy listening to this? Who is this for? Are you throwing a song that says, I just feel like dancing at a party? Like, is anyone going to enjoy that? Is anyone singing along to this? It's just kind of annoying and stupid. And you're going to say, I want to like jam out to that. I just like, I don't get it. I've never been a fan of All Time Low's music. It's just always like right at the edge of being what it wants to be, but it never quite is that good. I've said many times that this is one of like my least favorite songs on the Black Parade. This song just is slow. The song has the same sort of things that I get with a lot of the stuff on the Black Parade, where like, what the hell is Gerard talking about? What is he trying to say to me? What is he disenchanted about? My other issue with Disenchanted now, post like all the time and post just the song, is the fact that like there's lines like, I spent my high school career beat up and shoved to agree so I can watch all my heroes sell a car on TV. And then I'm like, how much did you get paid to do When You Were Young, My Chemical Romance? Oh, are you doing a Black Parade tour that you said you'd never do again? Are you back and reunited and just kind of taking your money and not doing anything? What were you disenchanted about? What were you mad about, Gerard? Because you seem to have become the villain that you said that you were upset about on this song. All that to say, I feel like Dancing is a much worse song. Any song by a pop punk band that's like, I feel like dancing, it's like, what do you do? What do you mean? I'm not throwing this on to dance to. It goes to the next round. All right, now we have Legends by Sleeping with Sirens versus Shut Up and Kiss Me by Brian Stars.
We could be legends after all.
This is one of those songs that is written for a sporting event to be played before commercial breaks. It has that same sort of feeling that a lot of like what Fuel by Ramen bands were doing at a certain point. And yes, Fall Out Boy. This is actually when Fall Out Boy was not on Fuel by Ramen. When they were doing a lot of songs that felt like they were just made to be played at baseball games or basketball games, like Centuries or whatever. And this is the same feeling to me. It's like this big chorus about being legends and dreams, and you got to be free and you got to like live your life, and like they're going to try to bring you down, but you don't want to let them. Like you're cool and you're like a powerful person. And it's like, dude, these kids are in high school, man. Like they don't know. They're just like watching the football game, you know? Like they don't care. I don't think the song is like awful. I just think that it's of this style and this genre that is for a very specific thing. And it just becomes very vague and boring because it doesn't have a stance. It's like clearly a song written in order to be sold to something and sold for something versus like just making a good song that happens to like be interesting to people that they want to listen to at those things. Now we have to listen to Brian Stars. Okay, so obviously, besides it being just a ripoff of Shut Up and Dance With Me, besides it being cringe for the sake of like Brian Stars as a person, the second lyric of the chorus is don't ever fall for someone else. Like, whoa, okay. We're having a great time being together. If you ever do this with someone else, I will kill you. Whoa. Hey, man, you went so fast to like, bitch, get in line. Like, whoa, Brian. However, listening to the music behind all of the vocals, the song itself is not as bad, unfortunately, as a very boring sporting anthem like Legends by Sleeping with Sirens. And I'm very sorry to say that because I like a lot of Sleeping with Sirens stuff. I'm very sorry to have to do it to him. Next up, we have a song called Fever for the Flava by Hot Action Cop and Good Girls, Bad Guys by Falling in Reverse. If this is your first time ever hearing the song Fever for the Flava by Hot Action Cop, you're in for a treat. This song does belong on this list. I don't think it's emo, but it is insane. I also had to search a lot to find the music video for this song, which is also a fever dream. It is insane. Who allowed this band to exist? Who allowed this band to make a song of such a sort? It's a crazy song. I dare say catchy. It has a Red Hot Chili Peppers vibe. It has some of that like alternative early 2000s vibes to it. I would hesitate to say this is emo at all or belongs on this list. It is a very bad song. It's a bad song. But this particular video is worth seeking out. It's crazy.
So why do good girls fall in love with me?
This is off the first Falling in Reverse record. You know, when he's just come back to the music industry from prison. This is post Escape the Fate. And I unfortunately really liked this record, like a lot. I listened to it quite a bit. I do have to apologize because I do kind of think this song is fine. It's not that bad. It's very cringe. It's insanely cringe. It's tongue in cheek, but it's also really stupid. But it also feels like it has this like 80s hair metal ethos to it, right? There's a lot of like cringe shit that like would just be very, very normal in an 80s hair metal song. So like I give it that. The way that Ronnie sings is still annoying. Like I still find his voice to not be that great, especially on a song like this where he's just sort of like not really singing very melodically. It's just very like one note or like this high pitched like sound that's just happening. The record I feel is good. This song is maybe one of the lesser ones on it, but I don't think it's actually like that bad of a song, unfortunately. Feel bad about saying that. I feel, you know, I never want to be seen giving the benefit of the doubt to a Falling in Reverse song. Unfortunately here, it's staying back and we are sending Fever for the Flavor to the next round because that song is insane. Next matchup, we have Dirty Laundry by All Time Low versus Pink G-String by Scene Queen. Yes, we have more All Time Low on here, and I'm so sorry to do it to you.
Dirty laundry looks good on you.
It's a lot like when they were trying to be Maroon 5. Now it's like they're trying to be like radio pop EDM stuff. I just feel like it's very boring. It's like when everybody started doing EDM style stuff at the end of the 2019, you know, or this is 8 years ago, so I guess 2017 around there. But to me, this just feels very like boring and muted and watered down EDM rock band nonsense. Never liked this era of it, and I just don't like All Time Low. I understand why this song is on the list. I really do. It's aggressive. It is wild that like it has like a genty metalcore guitar over like what is essentially just Paris Hilton type shit, talking about like the early 2000s and being like hypersexual. And I can see why people don't like that. I can understand why people are not a fan of that song. But like to me, it's like it's either for you or it's not. The song is not bad. It's just a metal song or like a metalcore song, but it like has these like pop hooks. You could also say it's not like she's singing. It's a female fronted take on Hollywood Undead. The same idea. It's like kind of like she's rapping. It's kind of like she's just talking over it. I could see like that critique. It's like, you know, what is this? Like, is she trying to rap over metal guitars? Because we had that on other songs. And we were like, this isn't good. But I don't think this is bad. I enjoy the sound. I enjoy hearing it. Am I going to sing the lyrics? No, it's not for me. I enjoy the experience of listening to it. I find it to be wild that it exists in the first place, but it's not bad that it exists, and it's not bad as a song. So if I'm comparing the two, the issue here is that Pink G-String should move on. It is, by all accounts, a more like bad song, whereas Dirty Laundry is just a boring song, a boring EDM track by a band that doesn't normally do that, by a band that just sort of watered down their sound to make this music of the late 2010s. I'm going to put All Time Low moving on for that reason, though I can understand why people would be like, dude, you're going to say Pink G-String is a better song than Dirty Laundry. For this purpose, yes, I am. The last two songs we're going to listen to. This is our last matchup of the top 32. We have Teenagers by My Chemical Romance versus Secrets by Makeout. I've said it on record many times. I've talked about this quite a bit. Teenagers is the worst song on the Black Parade. Teenagers might be the worst My Chemical Romance song, which is saying something. There's, you know, My Chemical Romance is one of my favorite bands. Is this song like awful? No. It is way overplayed. It is something that I like. The more I've heard it, the more I'm like, okay, like again, really? I'm not saying it's a bad song. I'm just saying my personal feelings on how much I've heard it or the way that I feel about the song in specific. It's still like just a basic, blues song, blues rock song on a high concept record, I guess. I don't know. The more I've thought about it over the years, the more I'm like, why the fuck is this song here? Why the fuck is this song on the record? It doesn't make any sense. It's a very like specific song to an experience that Gerard Way had that he talked about. And it's like, but it's on this record about a guy dying and going to hell. It's like, were there teenagers in hell? Like, I'm sure, but also like, what are we talking about? It's not Mike Hem's best. It's not Mike Hem's strongest song of all of them. It's probably the worst song on the Black Parade. And I think a lot of people are tired of it. So I get why it's on the list, I guess.
Secrets are not safe with me anymore.
So obviously, fucking Kevin. This song was on Catatonic Youths. Like, it's the first time that I ever heard this song was on that profile. And I remember somebody calling it like Dashboard Incel. This is the most like, this is like such an incel anthem. This is like, I'm mad at this individual person, and I'm going to be very specific about why I'm mad at her, but I'm also just going to be the most misogynistic that I can possibly get, because dudes are going to love this shit. Yeah, I showed her, right, boys? This guy is not in the band anymore. This song is seen as like a really bad song for the lyrics, for the way that he sounds as a person. I can see why it's like so bad that it does come around to like be funny. Like, wow, like you really fucking said the worst thing you could think of. And you just said that with your mouth out loud. You were like, I'm going to sit and write this down on a piece of paper, and then I'm going to sing it out loud into a microphone, and then I'm going to make a music video for it, and then people are going to sing it out loud back at me at a show. Maybe I'll just play it acoustic at like a little thing, and people will be singing it back at me, and it'll be this experience that we all have together. It's like, whoa, dude, maybe don't. This song is really bad. I mean, I'm not denying like it's just bad. But it like is almost like the more I've heard it, the more I'm like, this is coming around to just be fucking funny now. Like when you're like here, like, well, I was on tour and you were with Kevin. You're like, what? Who the fuck is Kevin? Who is Kevin? Teenagers is not my favorite, but Makeout is like Secrets is a bad fucking song. Bad song. We have listened to all of them. We have gotten through the first round. We now are going back to the beginning, and we are going to the, I guess, Sweet 16. We've gone from 32 and halved it, so that makes sense that it would be the Sweet 16. We're not going to listen to them anymore, so we're just going to talk about the remaining songs. We're just going to go ahead and pick which one is worse, which one moves on, and we'll just keep on moving. First round of the Sweet 16, we have Alone by Falling in Reverse versus The Thespian by Alesana. Both bands that are just putting way too many different styles and sounds into the music. Alone is a legendarily bad song. Every part of it comes together to be bad. On repeat listens, it stays being bad. The Thespian is a bad song. I don't like it. However, I do feel like it's very specifically bad. Alone is making everybody upset. The Thespian is like, I'm skipping that, right? Alone is like a car crash, and the Thespian is like, I didn't even know that existed until now, and like I'm never gonna listen to it again. But you're watching the car crash, you're appreciating how bad Alone is. So I do think Alone has to move on. It's a full on fucking contender. You know what I mean? There's nothing you can do about it. Next up, we have Aware by Front Porch Step versus Cruising California, Bumping in My Trunk by The Offspring. Aware is very much like that incel vibe too. The acoustic song about a girl and you're like, I just wish you would love me. And I definitely have my issues with the lyrics, my issues with the sound of it. Cruising California, like jaw to the floor, shocked at how awful this song is. And I think the fact that it's by The Offspring is like a reason that it is worse, is a reason that it is harder to listen to. And again, the same thing. Like I might skip Aware because it'd be like ick. But Cruising California, like, what is happening? This is a miracle that this exists, and it is so bad. And this is The Offspring, you say? One of the best-selling bands of all time, you're telling me? I'm understanding that this band is very highly successful, and yet they made this song? I say yes. Disappointingly, yes. And it must move on to the next round. I really wish that we could all just experience the song together and how awful and terrible it is. Next up, we have Back It Up by Bone Crew versus I Got Your Money by Say Anything. Two white guys trying to do rap parodies. I don't think Bone Crew's trying to do a parody. It is a parody. I feel as though Back It Up is trying to do something, you know, in this way that, like we're saying, these are songs by bands that are like at least trying to do a genre that may not be very good. The execution might be bad and off base, but then there is like covering a rap song in like 2006, 2007, and you're Say Anything, and you're like leaning into the so hard, and you're trying to do it with such, you know, honesty. And Back It Up is just like, it's not good, but it's super skippable. Again, I think Say Anything is like, you're listening to the whole thing and you're like, how did this get greenlit? How did this happen? Why are we listening to this? I think that Got Your Money must move on here. You're never going to hear Bone Crew again. This song is going to come up and you're going to be like, dude, that song's bad. Throw it on. Next up, I Would Hate Me Too by TX2 versus Young and Menace by Fall Out Boy. But like I said, TX2, like this song is cringe. This song has lyrics that are dumb, but like that's just the lyrics, right? The words that he's saying are cringe for the sake of getting you to listen to the song altogether. The chorus is not necessarily that bad. The sound of the music isn't necessarily that bad. His vocals are a little rough, but I'm like surprised that it isn't as bad as it probably should be, you know? Young and Menace is an awful, awful, awful song. It is a dubstep chorus, a high-pitched noise that repeats for way too long. It is just not a good song. While TX2 is cringe, it is not a bad song, while Fall Out Boy here is a bad song. It comes to mind as like, wow, what is that? Wait, hold on. What's that song? Whoa, that's Fall Out Boy? Fall Out Boy did that shit? That shit sucks. It's very not good. All right, second side, we have Father of All by Green Day versus I Don't Want to Go to Bed by Simple Plan. Similar in the way that they are a band that is doing something that is a bit outside of the genre they normally would be creating, I feel. Father of All is a song that sounds like a different band than Green Day altogether. Is it bad because of that? I think it's just boring. I don't know if it's like a bad song, but it's not a Green Day song. In the same way, I Don't Want to Go to Bed is like a pop radio rock trying to be Maroon 5, trying to be popular as a pop punk band. That was already pretty popular. I feel like Simple Plan was already pretty popular. Having a Nelly feature on it, like very just out of line for what Simple Plan probably should be, you know? Kids getting together in their Montreal suburb weren't thinking like, wouldn't it be cool if Nelly sang a song about how simple of the plan it is with us one day? Green Day made a bad song. Okay. But Simple Plan made like an egregiously awful song for Simple Plan to have. And Simple Plan is never playing this song again. And they made a whole music video and they looked happy as fuck doing it. So I think Simple Plan has got to move on here. That song was a surprise to me. Like, why did you make such a bad song? It meets the why did this get greenlit argument too. Next up, we got Tramp Stamps I'd Rather Die versus I Feel Like Dancing by All Time Low. This might be a saving grace for the All Time Low fans. I'd Rather Die is not good. It feels inauthentic. It feels like it doesn't know what it's trying to speak to. It feels like it's trying to be bratty, but it just comes off being really dumb and stupid. It has like way too auto-tuned vocals. It doesn't sound like it was produced by a real artist. It sounds like it's all fluff. It's nothing really there. I feel like Dancing is at least like All Time Low knew what they wanted to create and they made it. It's not good, but it certainly isn't like this is awful as a song. This sounds bad. It sounds like you didn't know how to play anything. It sounds like you had somebody else write it for you. It's maybe just a misstep in the career of All Time Low. Again, I don't like All Time Low, but if it's just a misstep for them at one time, forgivable. Tramp Stamps, this is your entire fucking thing. So Tramp Stamps is moving forward here. Next up, we have Legends by Sleeping with Sirens versus Fever for the Flava by Hot Action Cop. I have to put aside the fact that I think that Hot Action Cop's song is crazy and wild and like not altogether something that I don't enjoy listening to it because I know what I'm listening to. I hear it. I hear the thing happening and I go, whoa, like that's happening to me right now. Ugh. Legends just is happening in the background. Legends is like trying to sell me a car. Legends is trying to be like, hey, we're about to go to commercial break, but stick around because we're going to come back and there's going to be more game after this. And it's like, we could be wild. And Kellen obviously is like a great vocalist. Whereas I feel like Fever for the Flava is like just a crazy, like, I don't know what you're trying to say to me. And I really don't enjoy that you're saying it into my ears right now. I think Fever for the Flava has to move on as a worse song. Just for the sake that it's fucking insane. It doesn't deserve to exist. You don't deserve to exist. Next up, we have Dirty Laundry by All Time Low versus Secrets by Makeout. Secrets is a like legendarily bad song. One of those songs that you hear and immediately understand why people think this is an awful song. There's no question. Dirty Laundry is boring. I don't love it. I think that it's not quite EDM type shit. We wanted to write an EDM song, but didn't quite do it. Didn't quite make it. Secrets is like, we wanted to make a misogynist incel fucking acoustic song about Kevin, about choking on a hot dog from 7-Eleven. Secrets moves on. Next up, we have Alone by Falling in Reverse versus Cruising California, Bumping in My Trunk by The Offspring. Start off our top 8. MySpace's top 8. These are both very, very, very bad songs. So there it is. Bad songs. I think Alone is just more aggressively bad about it. And like the fact that Ronnie thought this was a great song, the fact that Falling in Reverse fans still think it's a good song, they're like, no, Falling in Reverse has never done anything wrong. The Offspring is like, yeah, okay, that kind of sucks, you know? And I don't think Offspring fans are like pushing them to play this song. I don't think anybody wants to hear it. I don't think anybody's like looking for this song. I think that somebody submitted it to our list as like, I've had to hear this. This has impacted my life negatively in the following ways. And so you also now need to know this song. Alone is like, no, I believe in the merits of this song. I think this song is good. And it's like, what? It's really bad. No, it's pretty good. Falling in Reverse is pretty good. Oh boy. Oh buddy. Oh gosh. No. So I think Alone has to move on. It is such a hard contender for the ultimate victory, the ultimate win. It's such a bad song. But this is a really hard matchup because god damn, Cruising California, just miserable listening experience. Next up, Got Your Money by Say Anything versus Young and Menace by Fall Out Boy. Young and Menace has the actual structure of a dubstep song, the structure of an EDM track. The worst EDM drop I've heard of a song like that. It can have passion and reflection behind the lyrics. It sounds bad. You know what I'm also going to say? I didn't bring this up. I didn't mention this when I was talking about it. The lyrics. The song, you're going to have to kill me twice. Yeah, kill me twice. Like my name is Nikki Sixx. Like, what's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What are you doing? Is that good? Is that good lyricism? Is that great lyrics by Peter Wentz? You repeat kill me twice and then you bring up like a reference to Nikki Sixx from the 80s? And you say, what? Oh, well, that's because like Nikki Sixx was Young and Menace. Well, how is he Young and Menace? I don't know. Here's like a siren. Have you ever listened to a siren? You love dubstep, kids. What's the year? Oh, dubstep died. You're saying 5 years ago? Minimum? Yeah, Britney Spears reference. Like there's so many references to things in it. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And you're like you're making Patrick Stump basically whisper it before it gets to like a dubstep drop that goes on for like 20 to 30 seconds of a like 4-minute song. Why are you doing a dubstep breakdown? You're Fall Out Boy. Do you know who sings for you? Do you know like your singer can write some of the best pop hooks that has ever been in a rock band? And you're like just diluting all of that to do dubstep too late? Young and Menace moves on. Got Your Money has very few redeeming qualities, I admit. I enjoyed it at the time because it was goofy and dumb for the time. And the more you listen to it in the current day and age, you're like, whoa, no, we'll skip that. We'll skip that one. At least that's a cover. That's not even like an original. Like Max Bemis didn't write the song originally. He just made a version of it that is like a little bit more cringe and weird and does not hold up. But Young and Menace is a bad song. And many people agree. I loved hearing it at all of their shows that they played in the last year. Oh, they didn't play a lot of those because they played all the songs that everybody likes. I Don't Want to Go to Bed by Simple Plan versus I'd Rather Die by Tramp Stamps. And again, Tramp Stamps is a bad song. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't have any like soul to it or feeling behind it. And it just feels like an inauthentic idea of what a pop punk, hyper pop, auto-tuned garbage song should be. I Don't Want to Go to Bed is like a, of the time. Simple Plan is not writing I Don't Want to Go to Bed again, and they know that it's not a good song. They're not doing it as like their main thing. I'd Rather Die is like, that's us. That's who Tramp Stamps are. If Tramp Stamps is even doing anything anymore, I don't know. I'm not following Tramp Stamps, and I won't. I think Tramp Stamps has to move on here. I have no love for I Don't Want to Go to Bed. It's annoying. The Nelly feature's bad. It still is just boring, and it's stupid that it's Simple Plan, but Tramp Stamps is Tramp Stamps. And I'd Rather Die is their main output into this world. All right, last ones of the top 8. We got Fever for the Flavor versus Hot Action by Hot Action Cop versus Secrets by Makeout. Secrets is a hard one to beat, man. The lyrics of Secrets is such a so bad. Such a standout awful lyrical masterpiece of how to be awful as a person. Whereas Fever for the Flavor is like, listen, man, you know what? This is just me trying to have consensual business with my consensual partner. Sometimes people get hot under the collar, they're looking for a little bit of fever. And I'm just trying to get that flavor. And I think that's what they're trying to say. And that's not misogynistic. If anything, consent is the most appropriate thing they're doing there. They're asking. They're proposing an idea. And I don't think they're like saying it's got to happen. I think they're saying like, what can I do? What can I say? And they're like, no, they're like, all right, I understand, ma'am. Have a great rest of your day. The Hot Action Cop is out on the town. Secrets is a bad song. Secrets moves on. Secrets is going to the top 4. The last two on the left-hand side are Alone by Falling in Reverse versus Young and Menace by Fall Out Boy. It's absolutely Falling in Reverse. Like, come on. Fall Out Boy didn't make more songs that sound like Alone. Falling in Reverse said Alone is the direction we're going, and it's good, actually. Young and Menace is like, we did something. It's not good, but it's not like they did that across the board. They're like, this is what Fall Out Boy sounds like. Alone is like God tier bad. It's just so fucking bad. Outside of the drop from Young and Menace, I can accept that things are happening that are not displeasing to the ear. It's not displeasing to the ear when you get to the verses and the lyrics are clunky and I don't like them. The annoying part comes and goes. The whole song alone is the annoying part. It starts annoying and it ends annoying. Meant to be big and dumb and cringe the whole time. Young and Menace is like a try. We tried. It didn't work, and that's okay. Alone is like, no, this is art. No, it is not. Ronald, no, it is not. The last half of the final 4, we got I'd Rather Die by Tramp Stamps versus Secrets by Makeout. The guy is an incel and says women are awful, and the women say dudes are dicks. They just want blowjobs and they don't know how to please a woman in bed. And these are the names of white men that I know. To be fair, they both name drop a Kevin. Do they? I don't actually know if that's one of the names that Tramp Stamps mentions in the song. I'm just assuming. Same Kevin, actually, turns out. I got Kevin. Pretty popular out there in Los Angeles. Doing the business in Los Angeles. I do think Secrets has to move on. I'd rather die as stupid, and I don't like it. And I would hope that Tramp Stamps understands like why it is bad. And they were like, at least it's tongue in cheek, and it's like, we're trying to be bratty, we're trying to be punk, and the inauthenticity may give them like a little bit of an out and be like, listen, this isn't us. We tried it. Let's do something that is more us. Let's go to the studio. Let's make something else, and let's not turn on the auto tune so hard, and let's make something that means what we as the band are. Secrets is like the one guy of Makeout. It's like the one dude was like, this is me. This is who I am. This bitch is going to choke on some fucking hot dogs. Can't believe her and Kevin getting it off. All the money I spent at Sephora while I was on tour and you were with Kevin. Sephora, he rhymes Sephora and tour. Torah. Yeah, Secrets moves on. We have reached the final two. The end of our bracket. Alone by Falling in Reverse versus Secrets by Makeout. An impossible choice. A choice nobody deserves to have to make. Here's my argument about Secrets. The chorus has the line of like, you fucking whore in it, right? And so they're like, the chorus is pretty generic though. It doesn't have a lot of like the most cringe lines of it. And by the time it gets to the bridge, you're kind of like out of it, right? Right? He's already said all the worst things you can possibly hear by the time you reach the bridge. So the song kind of gets it in and gets it out. It's like, here's me being awful. There you go. It's done. Alone is like, it starts off and it's like, what if I rapped? And you're like, oh, I'm sorry. Are you rapping now? Like, oh, maybe it's just like one part where he raps. Like, nope, that's the verses. The verses are raps. And then the chorus is like, how I just said that I'm like the coolest guy known to man and everybody hates me because of how cool I am and that you all suck and they're all awful rappers in the metal scene and y'all talk your shit, but you don't have any money and I'm rich as fuck. And then he goes into the chorus and he's like, I just wish anybody liked me and I'm tired of being alone and like I'm just sad about this and I want to be well liked and this sucks. And then he goes into this bridge, the laziest phoned in, like he's got like a weird effect, like weird EDM effect on his voice. It doesn't make any sense. It's like all like cool words that other artists who maybe rapped already did. And he's like, I'll do that too. I'm Ronnie and I write my own raps. And that's the song. That's the whole goddamn song. It's so bad that it made it out, the studio. We're making it out of the hood with this one. It's really bad. It's got a lot of really cringe lines. It's got a lot of really bad vocal parts in it. The rapping, all of it. Secrets is like, I said some very misogynistic stuff and now it's over. And then it's just normal songs that is like less misogynistic. Like he says so much bad shit in it that when he gets to lines about like, maybe I'll regret this, in the bridge, and he goes, nah, fuck it. It's like, okay, that's not as bad considering what you've already said in the song. Alone by Falling in Reverse has won the day. Alone by Falling in Reverse is the worst emo song on the bracket. It's done. That's the guy. Well, folks, that is the worst emo song of all time for the volume 1 of our worst emo songs bracket. What do you think? Let us know if there was a song that you thought was worse than Alone by Falling in Reverse. Let us know if you think that Young and Menace really is good. Let us know in the comments what we got right, what we got wrong. There is also a link to submit your own worst emo songs. We will do another one of these if we get enough submissions, and we'll talk about some other songs and put you through all of this nonsense.